What's good YouTube, Ben here, welcome to the next video on the channel. In this one, I'm going to give you my next Steel Path viable build on Warframe. This is going to be for the new Warframe Nokko. Let's get into this. Alright, so Nokko came out literally the other day, as time of recording this. And I've done my build for him, farmed him within an hour. He wasn't actually that hard to farm, to be honest, you just have to get really lucky apparently. I do want to quickly point out, I do have an Arcane shard on him, but it's purely for maximum energy filled on spawn. That gives us 45% energy at the start. No other Arcane shards are on him. So I do like to keep my Warframe as base as I can. That way you know sort of baseline what kind of damage you're working with, and then you can tweak from there with Arcane shards and whatever else you want to use. But let's jump into the build. So I'm going to go over his abilities first, and I'll go over my choices for the build. So his passive, upon receiving fatal damage, Nokko reverts to his spiraling form, and his active mushrooms will glow, reviving Nokko when touched. Orb spawn will grant him a speed boost, but not healing. If a glowing mushroom is not reached in time, Nokko will automatically use a self-revive. So it gives you a chance to get him back up once you've gone down, which is very nice. Stink Brain is his first ability, throws a mushroom that periodically sheds poisonous spores, inflicting viral damage and status effect upon nearby enemies, whilst also lulling them to sleep. So really solid to start getting some status off. Bright Bonnet is his second ability. Release a rejuvenating mushroom that emits a radial pulse, giving Nokko and his allies energy and applying a buff to ability strength that lasts for a short time. So again, very good because it allows you to get at least with my build, it's a 58% strength bonus, along with energy restore at 29.1. Reroute is his third ability. Revert to Sprodling form, spawning orbs that heal Nokko and grant a speed boost. While in this state, Nokko is untargetable and heals gradually. So meaning he's basically immortal whilst in that state, so it gives you a little bit of playroom in order to be able to stay alive. And then finally, Spore Spring. Unleash a chaotic ballistic mushroom that seeks enemies and bounces explosively off whatever it touches. Contact with any of Nokko's mushrooms invigorates them, doubling their pulse rate. So it's great to have in combo, but our mod supports, we're running Growing Power. On status effect with weapons, squad increases personal ability strength for 25% for 6 seconds. Redirection for 100% shield capacity. You can run the primed version if you have it. I just don't have it currently. Adaptation. When damaged, 10% resistance to that damage type for 20 seconds stacks up to 90%. Very good for keeping him alive. Archon Continuity. 55% ability duration. And abilities that inflict a toxin status effect will also apply a corrosive status effect. That's based on his final ability, which normally does toxin damage. But with that, it does corrosion instead, which helps to strip through armor, which is very useful on the Steel Path. Transient Fortitude for 55% ability strength and the negative 27.5 ability duration. Blind Range for 99% ability strength and negative 55% ability efficiency, which doesn't matter too much for efficiency with this guy because you can get energy back, which is nice. Prime Flow for 185% energy maximum. Overextended for 90% ability range and negative 60% ability strength. And finally, Fast Deflection for 90% shield recharge and negative 45% shield recharge delay. So we're going for a shield over a health build. The reason I've done that is because from my point of view, so Fast Deflection would work a lot better than his healing. Because his healing is very slow. Not to mention that I'm going to try and stay out of that mini form as often as I can, purely to get as much damage off as I can. You'll see as we get in, for the arcanes, we've got more augmented. Mine's only rank 3. I'm currently working on getting it higher. But at rank 3, on kill, plus 0.60% ability strength stacks up to 250 times. That's going to boost his ability strength by quite a lot, especially when you get it to higher ranks. At rank 5, it'll do 0.24% ability strength, stacks up to 250%. And then finally, Arcane Aegis. Again, mine's only rank 1. I don't have many copies of this, don't know why, to be fair, but at rank 1, on shield damage, 3% chance for plus 10% shield recharge. But if you get it to rank 5, it's 3% chance for 30%. So it helps you keep those shields up. But let's jump into the mission. I will show you what this thing can do. Alright, so as per usual, we're here at Oxsmoke, we're in the Void. And I'll quickly explain why we're here. So the Void is one of the latest areas in the game, so you're dealing with the Corrupted. And with the Corrupted, you're dealing with enemies with just health, enemies with health and shields, and enemies with high armor. Give you a more varied example of what your weapon/Warframe can do. I do label this as a viable build because it is as such. It is viable for you to use on the Steel Path. It's probably not going to get you to level cap, which is level 9,999 enemies, but it will let you get through the Steel Path. Also, I'm going to try and refrain from using weapons as much as possible, so I can just use his abilities. I will use them, but not as much as you think I would, because I want to show you exactly what he can do with just abilities alone. So, I do want to point out that Nokko is a Warframe that would work better in missions that are more open. So, for example, missions like survivals, defenses, that kind of thing. Oh, Synergies tome. Might as well get it. This must be a new one. I don't think I've ever seen a Synergies tome inside of a mission before. Nice. At least not on video, anyway. But as you can see, our corrosion mushrooms are doing damage. Now, ideally, you want to keep these two little mushrooms out, because those little mushrooms are going to allow you to not only bounce the ball, but also to keep regenerating energy and let off viral procs at the same time. So, for example, I could sit here a minute and just regenerate some energy, which is very nice. Now, obviously, because of our low efficiency, you do want to generate energy as much as you can.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Now, of course, there's a Jade Eximus, meaning I've got to try and stay alive. There we go. I think it's gone. Now, as you can see, we are taking out enemies no issue. Now, the cool thing is, because of the way Nokko works, I'm just going to keep throwing out my ball and then keep on staying here for some energy gain. Because, like I said, as long as the ball bounces, you gain energy. So, essentially, you can keep yourself going with energy pretty much permanently as long as you keep an eye on it. You do have to keep an eye on your energy, because otherwise, because of the low efficiency, you may run out. Like, I'm just going to run around here quickly, get back to this side. I'm just going to quickly take out this so it doesn't bother me, because stupid laser. There we go. Now, this is a setup you're always going to want to do. So what I'd recommend doing with Arcane Shards is getting a few on the up casting speed, because that way you're going to be able to get stuff out a lot faster. But as you can see, we're not running into really any problem staying alive currently, which is nice. Even though Nokko, in my opinion, is very squishy. He is extremely squishy, which doesn't help because obviously you need to be able to stay alive. So he's a very active Warframe. He's not one you're really going to be AFKing with that much, purely just because you do need to keep an eye on your shields to make sure that you're going to stay alive. The cool thing is, because of his third ability, where you can stay alive for a set period of time, which I'm going to show you a little bit of an abuse with that in a bit, once the Acolyte comes in. But as per usual, we're going to stay in until the Acolyte comes in, just so you guys can see what he does to Acolyte. Spoiler alert, he works really freaking well against Acolyte just on abilities alone. So as you can see, look, it brings out the things, and we're just generating more and more and more energy. The cool thing as well with his energy gain is it also helps with allies as well. But look at that. We are literally just able to tank everything. And then, of course, that's going to start hitting viral procs as well. So, like I said, you really do always want these mushrooms out and about to help with everything. Point. Point. I will say this much as well. So, he is probably the most fun I've had with a Warframe in quite some time. Like a new one. Now, the Acolyte's coming. This should be interesting. 1, 2, 3, and then go into this form. So I can't be touched by the Acolyte currently, and as you can see, his health is gone. So when you're in that form, the Acolyte can't actually touch you. So I don't know whether they're ever going to patch that or not. Basically, you're immortal to Acolytes. They can't do anything. It's actually really fun. Another thing that I've not riddled out either, and I don't know how, but I keep getting overshields when I'm in this form. As you can see, I keep getting overshields. I'm not too sure why I'm getting overshields. But you get overshields, so... But I've not read any of his abilities that state why you get overshields. I think it might be due to fast deflection, but I can't be certain. So if anyone knows that, let me know in the comments. But let me know what you think about this Warframe. I really freaking love him. I think he's awesome. I've been using him a ton the past 24 hours. Just getting to know his abilities a bit more, getting to know what he can do. But honestly, his abilities are so solid. Like, he's such a good damage frame. Like, even Xmas units, I can just sit here a minute and just wait for the Xmas to expire, because look at that. Boom, gone. And I can't be touched in that form. But again, because you get overshields, you can literally sit in this form for a few seconds, come back out, initiate your mushrooms, throw your ability, and then go back into this form and just regenerate your shields. and basically just wait for everything to die, and then pop out. Hello. Bye-bye. Boom.
Attack us, we will counter.
And that basically annihilates pretty much everything on the Steel Path. Like, everything I've tested against all factions. It works fantastic against all of them. Like, it just works. Honestly, I give kudos to the devs for this frame. This frame is fantastic. The past couple of new frames I've not been the biggest fan of. Like, they've been okay, but they're pretty much a bit of the same of everything else. Like, they feel quite the same as a few other frames in certain playstyles. Nokko, on the other hand, just feels completely unique, really fun to use. Like, I don't have an issue using him. He's also a frame that I don't need to subsume an ability on to make work, which is nice. Because, like, a lot of frames you don't need to subsume, but you end up doing so anyway, purely because it does help them. I legit can't think of any ability right now that really helps Nokko stand out. So, like, with any frame that I need to help survive a bit more, I usually put, like, Gloom on. But, for example, Gloom wouldn't help Nokko. Gloom would only hurt. So, and plus, I don't have an issue staying alive as Nokko because of his abilities. He can self-heal. Because of fast deflection, I can keep my shields up, but he also gets overshields to help with any of that stuff as well. You've got into form quickly. There we go. See, when you start getting ganked like that, it's absolutely fine, because all you have to do is just get into this form, and you can sit here, and then for stuff like this, get rid of the nullify bubble, and then you're free to use your abilities again. So, like, for me personally, he's really, really good. I can't wait to see what augment mods come out for him in the future. Oh, hello. Again? Okay, I'll take a second Acolyte. Let's freaking go. I'm down. Right, 3 balls. Go in form. Wait for Violence to die. Oh, come on, Violence. Get in my bubble. There we go. Bye. This is so cool. Boink. Where is he? Why is he all the way over there? Hello? Bye. That was weird. He just sort of went out of the room. I mean, smart AI, but not smart enough. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget you can support the channel completely for free just by liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget you can also support the channel even further by becoming a channel member from as little as 99p per month. It really does help show further support. And don't forget, I do live stream. When I go live here on YouTube and over on Twitch and on TikTok, all at the same time. My streams here on YouTube are in the shorts form feed, some more for mobile. If you want to catch the exact same streams at the exact same time in full 1080p, feel free to join me on Twitch or TikTok. Those links are in the description below.